These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, it's these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, it's these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Whenever I leave here, it hurts me so. With tears in my eyes, oh, I hate to go. There ain't no work, and the kids need new clothes. The bills need paying, so off I must go.
These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they're home to me.
I think to myself, where did it all go? The life I once had on the ocean-painted road. My tears in my eyes and my head in my hands, away from my family, I hope they understand.
That is these rocky shores where I call home, it's where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include IAS update, report from Council Chambers, interview with our MHA, Burgeo Highway closed for most of this week, these stories plus Off the Rack, community events, the BBS Playbill, and more coming up after this.
Dear Mrs. Coleman, you don't know me, but I know you know my old red house at the end of the lane. Please forgive me for tracking you down, but I had to thank you. I'm not sure what inspired your kindness. Oh, it's a godsend. Since my wretched hip surgery, just getting to the end of the lane and back takes nearly half an hour, and sometimes the pain just isn't worth it. You brought me something much more important than newspapers. You brought me the understanding that it's the small, the simple things that really help people.
If you're doing just a little, you're helping a lot. From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
High winds, drifting, and snow, lots of snow, caused Route 480, the Caribou Trail, to be closed from Tuesday till Friday. The road closed signs went up Tuesday evening because of blizzard conditions on the highway. Many motorists were detained for hours because of the storm, while others spent Tuesday night in their vehicles. When I went in on Friday morning to see how much snow had accumulated, I met 4 members of the Burgeo Volunteer Search and Rescue Team who traveled through the blizzard the evening before to take provisions to approximately 40 people stranded in the Peters Drives area. When the Department of Transportation workers, along with a worker from the town of Burgeo, went to work on Friday morning, this is what awaited them even before they reached Steelbrook. I caught up with the council dresser and the Department of Highways tractor in the Steelbrook area. When I checked back later Friday afternoon, crews on this inn were in the Beaver Pond area working. Workers on both ends worked from early Friday morning right through till they met 8:30 Friday evening, plowing through snowdrift after snowdrift. MHA for the District of Burgeo and Lapoille, Bill Ramsey, was in town this past week. I had a chance to speak with Mr. Ramsey during his visit. Speaking with me in the studio today is MHA for the District of Burgeo and Lapoille, Bill Ramsey. Welcome to our studio.
Thank you.
Mr. Ramsey, I guess the top question on everyone's mind these days is with respect to the fish plant here in Burgeo. Have you heard anything further with respect to an opening date or anything for the plant?
Nothing directly from the operator, but on my visit here today, I had a meeting with the local committee, and we've discussed some further strategy of what we're going to follow from this point. Everything is still positive, and it's all on a go-forward basis from here, but we have concerns, the same as everyone in the community does, that things are not happening as quickly as anyone would like. Concerns about making sure that the future of the plant is secured and that some of the required maintenance is performed to get it up and ready to operate. And a group from a delegation from the committee will be meeting with Bill Barry sometime soon. Their request has gone for a meeting so that they can discuss some of these issues directly with him. At this stage, insofar as the allocations of fish that will be processed at the plant, this is currently in discussion between Seafreeze and the federal government. So on that part, it's not my direct involvement. That end of it is handled between the federal Department of Fisheries Notions and the operator. So those are things that I can't comment on, nor can the committee comment on them at this time, because we're not directly involved in those negotiations. So there's a lot of details there that are not public, I guess, and rightfully so. They're matters between the company directly and DFO, and we're hopeful that they can come to some conclusion in the next while so that we can move to the next stage to get the plant reopened. We don't have anything negative at this point, but nor do we have anything more positive to say at this point either. So we're, like I say, coming up with a strategy to move forward with it and to speak to the principals involved to make sure that we have all the facts that are possible so that we can get that information out to the community to keep everyone informed and to try to quell some of the anxiety and frustration that's here, as it is in a lot of other communities, I might add. It seems like any community with a fish plant that's ready to open, and I have a number of other communities that are in a similar circumstance that have the same anxieties and frustrations as they're experiencing here in Burgeo.
Okay. The Comfort Station dumping station was started at Sandbanks Park last year. It's hoped that this building is going to be finished before the Cabot 500 celebrations arrive here in Burgeo. So has funding been approved to finish the interior of that building?
The funding that was approved last year, of course, is continuing on into this year. As far as further funding to complete it, there are a number of issues. I can't say right at this point as to exactly how much funding has been allocated, or even if more funding has been allocated, because the budget hasn't been finalized yet. Normally those pieces of information don't come out until the finalization of the budget. At this stage, we just have the interim budget passed, which is a stopgap measure until such time as we get the full budget to go through the House of Assembly for approval. At that point, it will probably be about another 3 to 4 weeks before I'll have the details. And I would hope then that they'll be able to proceed. And my commitment has been to have the Parks Division get Sandbanks up and running with the full comfort station done. And also there's an effort being made to get the electrical service in there as well. And I've had some discussions last night with the IAS committee and yesterday with some of the staff involved with the park to make sure that that is addressed. And I expect to have that something conclusive on the electrical side of things by next week, early next week as well. So at this point I can't say as to whether there's an approval of extra funds. I'm hopeful, and I know that the funding that has been approved for the Department of Tourism now will go to quite a number less parks, of which Burgeo is one of the ones that we were happy to be able to maintain in the system. Very important, and I was glad to be able to lobby on behalf of Sandbanks, and the other one, of course, in my district is the Cheeseman Park, and both of those are still in the provincial government park system, and both are seen as being very important to the overall tourism strategy for the province, and that, I think, will hold very well for Burgeo in the future as we continue to develop and bring Sandbanks up to what it really should be and should have always been insofar as the park service for the people coming down to this area.
Okay, a petition was sent to Newtel a while back requesting cellular service on the Burgeo Highway. As you're aware, the mobile system has been down for some time now.
Yes.
Are you in support of getting cellular service in this area?
Very much so. In fact, I would be one of the users of it. In fact, I use my my cellular phone sometimes when I'm traveling. If I have to get a hold of people and people have to get a hold of me, then that makes me available. But coming down over the Burgeo Highway, you have no ability to communicate, and you know, there's a number of factors. One is to be able to do your work properly for those of us who travel a lot, and also for safety reasons. We had a recent event where, and along with that, the difficulty that the Department of Highways have had from a safety standpoint in being able to deal with the situation out there on the highway in a storm situation or an icy road situation, on getting that information relayed back to people who would travel or use the road, and it's one that concerns me. I have had some discussions with Newtel Mobility, the ones responsible for it. There's a couple points that should be made. One is that the phone company does not have a direct obligation, I suppose, as they do with local phone service. They don't have a direct obligation to provide cellular service. It's an optional, separate business from them. It's not regulated in the same way as the regular phone company, where if someone provides phone service, they have to provide it to all houses in a given area. Cellular service is not. It is not like that. It's a private, totally private sector. It is regulated as to the licensing of cellular services, but it's a bit different. Now, what I'm hoping that they will do is look at the business case. I think there's a very good business case, because Newfoundland Telephone, through that division, Newtel Mobility, are always suggesting that they will only put in cellular sites where they see a business case to do so. Each site, from what we're told, costs around $500,000. So therefore, the amount of use would have to justify that kind of expenditure. In some cases, I think that they would get much better coverage and usage if they were to put in these cell sites and to make sure that you know, the cell site gets the maximum amount of use. Whether it can sustain that or not, I don't know. I don't have an idea of the number of calls, the amount of time that it would take for a person to be using that service in order to make sure that they're getting, you know, a good, fair return for their investment. I would hope that they'll consider doing so, because even though they have some other mobile telephone customers, those other mobile telephone customers are probably only using the regular mobile telephone because of the fact that there are no cellular services available. So it's the kind of thing that there may be a bit of hesitation there on the part of Newtel Mobility, because there's another service coming in which has gone Canada-wide now. It's called PCS, or Personal Communication Services, which is a lower price to use than cellular even. And it's more of a radio type service, but it's somewhere in between cellular and radio telephone. So that might be what they're waiting for some of the more remote areas of the province. I can't really say, because I haven't discussed it with them in detail, but I intend to be following up. In fact, I had a meeting with the president of the Peter Strides Association while I was here, and we discussed this matter at length, and hope to be able to have something further on it sometime very soon.
Okay, so were there any other issues brought to your attention during your visit that you'd like to touch on?
Well, one, of course, is I get a really good response to the constituency clinics that I hold. You know, a large number of people, despite it being an Easter holiday, People have been coming to see me, and I'm very glad to be able to see people there in the office. And concern about the road, of course, you know, the snow clearing issue, and being able to find out from the Department of Highways what kind of shape the road is in. That was one. I've also met with some people representing the healthcare committee, and hope to be discussing and meeting with them in the near future to prepare a position paper for the community to put to the new committee that will be doing the operational review of the hospitals within the Western region. As you're aware, in the past we've had our difficulties with getting Burgeo recognized as a place that we want to maintain as a part of the healthcare system, as a full-fledged hospital serving the area. And I want to make sure that the voice from Burgeo and the surrounding communities is heard before this operational review committee, which will be, and it's a consultant that's been hired by the department, and it may be a company. I'm not exactly sure if it's been announced yet. I don't think it has. But they will be doing this review of all of the operations throughout the Western region. And it's going to be very important that we get the voice of the community front and center through that. So I'll be discussing that further with the local committee that's been formed to respond to healthcare issues. And I was pleased to be able to meet with the IAS committee last night, discussed a number of matters with them, matters of concern to them and the community, and good to see such hard work being put in by the committee to make sure that the community is fully involved in helping to develop its future. A lot of the issues that they're undertaking is being done in a very professional and well thought out manner, and I must say that I was impressed with the way they were going about things. The local people being involved in the committees and forming the committee as well, but bringing forward very well thought out and well researched issues for discussion and action following their activity. And I'm going to be working closely with them and the chairperson of the committee as well in the future. So there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of hard work yet to be done. I'd encourage people in the listening audience that are not involved, that have an interest in making sure that they get as much information as they can from the people who are involved, and keep informed and have their bit of input along the way, because everyone's opinion counts in trying to make some of these things happen. The one thing I might conclude with, and it's one that I hope we can move forward on, also interesting an internet access provider and setting up local dial-up service here. It may be something that ends up being provided through the BBS or through private companies that are interested in setting them up. I'm hopeful that I've convinced a couple of them that I've been lobbying to say, look, if you're the first one here, I'm sure you're going to get the bulk of the business of those people who want to be able to avail of the internet. And that's going to be good for everybody, I think, to be able to reach out to the rest of the world through what they call cyberspace is the term they use, and to reach out and get that information, because it's all going to help in helping Burgeo rebuild and become a thriving and you know, productive member of Newfoundland's communities in the future. It's going to be a very important part of that, getting as much information and putting all of the hard work that the people here have been doing to the best possible use. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope that will be another step along the way. And that's about it right now. I'd like to put a plug in for my toll-free number. If anyone would want to reach me, it's 1-800-518-9479. And the other telephone numbers in Port aux Basques, it's 695-7080. And when I'm away, when I'm traveling, that connects through automatically to the toll-free number, so the calls go through the office there. And just look forward to your calls or your letters, and to be able to try to help out where possible.
Okay, Mr. Ramsey, well, we'd like to thank you for coming in and speaking with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Stay tuned. There's more of This Week in Review still to come.
The little things you do that you think are small and few are the things that mean the most to me. just a little,
If you're doing just a little, you're helping a lot.
it helps a lot.
From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
It helps a lot.
The Burgeo IAS Committee held their regular meeting on Tuesday of this past week. Representatives from the committee stopped by our studio on Wednesday to update us on the meeting.
Well, as you say, we are certainly monitoring the fish plant. I wish I had something new to report, but all I can say is at the meeting last night, there was a fair amount of discussion. There's certainly a lot of frustration, and it came out at the meeting last night. Frustration in the sense that people are quite anxious to find out what's happening. All that we know, that was based on what was reported last night, that there's meetings ongoing, backroom meetings, I guess, between the company and DFO and other government officials. But at this point, I guess, they haven't seen fit to inform, us or certainly the people of Burgeo. And that's leading to a lot of frustration, as I say. And in fact, someone mentioned last night that, it's time to give us an answer, one way or the other, and then we'll have to deal with it.
I understand that you guys have been discussing several workshops. A workshop you hope to plan here in Burgeo and another workshop that you might be looking at attending in Gander.
Yeah, the one here in Burgeo has been on our plate now for a while. It's basically tied up, I think, with Lana Bannister, is trying to coordinate the different governmental officials, provincial fisheries, federal fisheries, that type of deal. We tentatively got it scheduled for April 22nd. Now, whether we can pull it off then, whether there's enough people that we can get in here at that time remains to be seen. But the reason I can't say much more than that is because the day is Wednesday, April 2nd, and there's a big storm on, and Lana couldn't get to a teleconference this morning.
I understand that the brochure, the town brochure, is progressing quite nicely.
Yeah, it is, Dave. Actually, I presented a fine draft, I should say, to the committee last night for their approval, for the IAS approval. And we've yet to take it to tonight's meeting, as Owen said, today is Wednesday. So hopefully we're going to get it approved at council level, seeing that they are equal financial partners in this. And then we'll be off to the printers, actually, and get some quotes on the cost of it and what have you, and then they'll be around for everybody to see.
I understand that one of the main issues being discussed with the youth subcommittee is a junior achievement program.
Yes, Dave. One of our major initiatives at this point is to expose students and youth to some of the elements of the junior achievement program. This program is designed to provide students with some entrepreneurial skills and provide them with information on the nature of the business world. It's also designed to expose students, youth, to role models and mentors from the business sector.
The IAS update will be airing in its entirety later in the week. Now over to Councillor Green with an update from Council Chambers.
Good evening, residents. Here are a few highlights from Council's last meeting, which was held on April the 2nd. Council received a request from the Sand and Sea Cabinet 500 Committee to change the civic holiday from the normal second Monday in August to Monday, July the 14th for this year to coincide with the Sand and Sea Festival and Matthew Visit celebrations. It was felt that this major tourist attraction warranted changing the date of the civic holiday for 1997. Therefore, the civic holiday, commonly known as Burgeo Day, will be held on Monday, July the 14th, 1997. Also, in conjunction with the Matthew Visit, the mayor and councillors have been invited to participate in a tree planting ceremony. This tree planting will take place on Wednesday, July the 16th, 1997 at 1:30 p.m. on the site of the Old Burgeo Memorial Library. It is the hope of council that this will be a starting point to have this area of town done up to be more attractive to locals and visitors alike. The IAS Subcommittee for Tourism presented council with a proposed tourist brochure on the town of Burgeo. This brochure outlines Burgeo's many sites and attractions which may entice tourists to visit our area of the province. This brochure will now be printed and distributed throughout the province. The cost of printing this brochure will be shared 50-50 between Council and the IAS. Also, the IAS committee is presently working on a town profile which will outline all the services and attractions in our area. This brochure will be ready for printers in the very near future. Members of Council and the local union executive recently met with Mr. Robert Utchins, chairman of the IAS committee, to discuss the status of the fish plant and that we, as a committee, can do to try to expedite the reopening of the plant. It was agreed that we must continue to pressure all levels of government to ensure that our plant is reopened at the earliest possible date. To this end, it was agreed that the committee would attempt to set up a meeting in the very near future with Seafreeze to determine what will be required from Seafreeze's point of view to have the plant reopened and what will be required of the different levels of government. It is hoped that the issue of reopening our plant can be resolved in a satisfactory manner in the very near future. A letter was received from a local business person to operate a recycling depot on Main Street. Since all zoning regulations have been met, this application was approved. It is Council's position that this is a very worthwhile service to our area, and Council urges all residents to reduce, reuse, and recycle whenever possible, thus reducing the pressure on our incinerator and landfill site. Council received a request from an individual to operate a cafe on Centennial Street. This request was tabled pending more information being received from the prospective operator. Council has taken delivery of the sand and salt hopper, which was tendered recently. As well, the fire department has taken delivery of the Jaws of Life. Council expects to receive the new 1-ton pickup within the next several weeks. Council received a request from South Coast Taxi for a rate increase in the business rates from $3.75 to $4.25. The reason for this request was due to the 15% harmonized sales tax. This request was approved. The audited financial statements as prepared by Bonnell Cohen James, Chartered Accountants, for the year ended December 31st, 1996 was presented to Council. This financial statement, which will be published in the Southwest Times at a later date, shows that our town is presently in a fair, stable condition. Although with the recent provincial budget and the announcement of the reduction in the municipal operating grant, our financial picture may change. Council have not yet received the government calculated figures from Municipal Affairs regarding the reduction of the municipal operating grant, but it is expected that the loss will be in excess of $100,000 over the next 3 years to the taxpayers of our town. This loss will have to be made up by either a reduction of services or an increase in taxes. The mayor, through discussions with government officials and our MHA, feels that it is government's intention to have all towns in the province pay their own way, and this will mean that towns will be looking at paying a mill rate from 9.5 to 10 mills. Burgeo is presently assessing property at a mill rate of 7. This would mean that a property owner presently assists at $30,000 and paying $210 per year could be paying as much as $300 per year. Council agreed to have a new Welcome to Burgeo sign completed before the Sand and Sea Cabot 500 celebrations begin. A local artist will be asked to paint the new sign to reflect our local heritage. The town clerk presented invoices to be paid in the amount of $29,767.94 to Council. Approval was given to have all invoices paid. Council was informed that an investigation is ongoing regarding Council's complaint earlier in the year about the price of gas and oil in this area. A written report regarding this matter is expected within the next few weeks. Thank you for listening, and good night.
Stay tuned for Off the Rack, community events, and the BBS Playbill. All that after this.
Just look at her. What a difference. Till a few months ago, we thought kidney dialysis was her only chance. but then a kidney donor was found. Someone took the time to sign a donor card and tell their family their wishes. Please, discuss organ donation with your family and sign a donor card today. You'll give someone like Michelle a second chance.
This message was brought to you by the Kidney Foundation of Canada and your local station.
Off the rack. This week, as we scanned our tape racks, we came across a video of a fashion show held during a fire department concert. Here's a look back now to the spring of 1987.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to our fashion show of the year. We hope you will enjoy our models as they come forward on stage modeling fashions that can be worn any time of the year. If you remember last year, one of our models was pregnant. Well, tonight we have that same lady with her baby. The rest of her family will follow. First we have the mother and their baby. Shoes and a beige handbag with a red and white bandana. She has her baby in a wheelbarrow. The baby has on a beautiful white bonnet, t-shirt with I love mommy and a pamper. The baby also has his bottle of milk. Isn't he a cute little thing? Next we have our cute little girl of 4 years old. Pink sundress with flowers. Also a pair of blondes with pink frills to match her dress. A white hat, handbag, sunglasses, knee socks, and sneakers. With her, she has her doll's carriage and her doll. Cute little girl, don't you think? Next we have the twins. With his white shirt and bow tie. His twin sister has on her brown skirt and white blouse with frills. She also has on white socks and sneakers to match her brothers. Don't they look gorgeous? Last we have the big sister. She has on a pink flowery dress. Her socks are white and pink to match her dress. Notice her handbag with pom-poms and her big yellow green brim hat. Oh my God, look at me too!
Welcome to the community events segment of tonight's broadcast. I'm AJ Marks. The RBP TV bingo held on Wednesday was won by Jesse Young. Congratulations, Jesse. The Lioness will be having a TV bingo on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Cards are $1 each or 6 for $5 and are available in most stores around town. Please support the Lioness and play TV bingo. The Anglican Vestry will be having a potluck supper on Sunday, April the 20th at the Anglican Parish Hall. You can eat at the Parish Hall, or if you wish, you can have your meal to take out. Drop by the Parish Hall and choose from our large variety of home-cooked meals and delicious desserts. At the Lions Tuesday Night Bingo, 2 draws were made by 2 individuals for the Lions Easter hampers, and Art Parsons was the lucky winner of both hampers. Congratulations go out to Art. The Lions Club would like to thank everyone who bought tickets and supported this project. Members of the RCSCC Bob Bartlett Sea Cadet Corps are currently selling tickets on 100 gallons of home heating fuel. Tickets are $1 each or 3 for $2 and can be purchased from any Sea Cadet member. All monies raised will go towards the Life Pack for the Calder Healthcare Center. This concludes the community events segment of tonight's broadcast. If you have an item you would like to include in this segment of our broadcast, please contact the BBS office no later than Wednesday. See you next week.
BBS Playbill. Tune in on Monday at 7 p.m. for Religious Revelations. This month's service comes to us from Faith United Church. Join us on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden. Then at 7:30 p.m. we'll have the IAS update in its entirety. Try your luck on Wednesday at 7 p.m. by playing Lioness Guide Movement TV Bingo. All proceeds from this bingo will go towards the Life Pack for the Calder Healthcare Center. Bingo will be followed by a video entitled Coastal Watch Program, courtesy of the RCMP. Immediately following that video, we'll have another video entitled Operation Ground Search. Tune in on Thursday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of The Bandwagon. And of course, Marie, Melissa, and Pansy will be here again Saturday morning on Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. Next week's program will be followed by Telethon 97 Jam Session from our friends at Ramya Broadcasting. Please stay tuned now for The Bandwagon. For This Week in Review, I'm Dave Cooper. Good night.